Blessed Thursday again, friends. This is part two of our devotions for this coming Sunday, the 12th Sunday after Pentecost. I know that we missed out yesterday, um, but here's the second one. Here's our final stop, really. And that takes us to our gospel reading, where guess what? We're in Matthew. Surprise! But we're in Matthew chapter 15, looking at verses 21 through 28. Uh, I gotta tell you, this is I think one of my most favorite interactions that Jesus has with both his disciples and with someone who comes to him. And so here, just to kind of set the stage, so the disciples obviously, you know, Jesus has been doing ministry, right? And you see how the disciples are really at that point where I would consider them where they're just tired. They're maybe needing a break, if you will. And I think we can get that because it says Jesus went away from there and withdrew to the district of Tyre and Sidon. And so he's in this region where you know he's going to he's going there to again just to kind of refresh his juices, if you will, to get charged up again. And here we have this Canaanite woman who comes up to Jesus, and she's crying, right? And she cries out, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon." So here's the stage is set. Jesus goes to he goes to a region where um, there's not going to be very many. You know, it's more of a on the outskirts, if you will. I mean, Tyre and Sidon again, we're mostly going to be Gentile country, right? But he goes right to get some peace. This Gentile woman comes up to him, right? And she has this plea that her daughter is is oppressed by a demon, and what I like about it is that Jesus doesn't respond, right? He doesn't say a word, and when you think about that, isn't that kind of interesting? How we're so like we automatically think that Jesus is going to immediately answer, right? Like boom, yes, okay, right away, but he doesn't respond, and it seems like he doesn't respond for quite a while because the disciples eventually came up and they begged Jesus to send her away. Send this woman away. Just get rid of her. And it seems like at that point in time, then Jesus has this interaction with her. And I when you read this text again, verses 24 through 20 especially, it is look at what Jesus is doing here. I mean, he immediately says, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Now, for this one, it's kind of a gut punch, right? Like, oh, well, so what does it mean? You can't help me? I mean, just think about that. Think about where it's like, well, sorry, I know that you came to our church looking for help, but you know what? We're only going to help those who are in our church, those who are members only. We're not going to help anybody else. Now, maybe there are some churches that do that, and maybe you know some of those churches, right? Or, like, oh, sorry, you know what? You're outside the group that I tend to help, so you know what? Sorry, not going to help you out. I mean, if you really think about, I mean, we can go through examples like that, but again, just think of how that looks. And I think if we were to be told this, and maybe in some way, shape, or form we have, but I mean, look at what happened. I mean, again, this is powerful. This woman, after hearing these words from Jesus, "I was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel," she could very well have walked away and go, "Okay, well, I guess no one could help me. No one could help me." And yet, she kneels down before him and she says, "Lord, help me." She continues to plead. It's almost like she ignores Jesus' response. And then he says, "It is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." Yes, friends, he's calling her a dog. I mean, in this scenario, that's kind of what we can get at here. But again, he's not only doing it for this woman, but he's doing it for the disciples here too. But she says, "Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." So she agrees, yes, well, you're right. Absolutely. However, dogs still do eat the crumbs. So basically, yes, you're right, but that doesn't mean you're limited to only the house of Israel. And that is, and then we have the interaction where, oh woman, great is your faith, be it done for you as you desire. And then her daughter was instantly healed. So again, I love this passage. I do, because again, we see how Jesus, the disciples are like, get rid of her. Jesus kind of wants to see, to kind of see where this goes. Yeah, he knew all along. I think, but he wanted to show this woman's faith to the disciples. He wanted to show the disciples that it's not just the house of Israel that he's came to save. That his mercy is for everyone, right? Because again, that's what we've been talking about, and that's what we're going to talk about more on Sunday, about how God's mercy is really for everyone. That no one is outside of his limits, right? That there's not a place that we can go that he's not going to be there, and that he's not going to be listening to us. So again, his mercy never gives up. We talked about that earlier today with our psalm reading. But again, God remains faithful to his promises. That's what we see here. And that he shows mercy to Jew and Gentile alike, so that all may find hope in Jesus. And she found hope because, again, her daughter was saved. Her daughter was immediately healed, the text says. See, again, he never gave up on her. Jesus never gave up on this Canaanite woman. And I think he wanted to know how far, I think he wanted her faith to be on display for the disciples. Because again, the disciples didn't really want anything to do with her. Send her away. They were good at saying, just send them away, because when they didn't want to deal with it anymore. So they were kind of like fed up. Like, I'm done with you. Go away. And again, I'm sure we know some people who are just like that in our lives today as well. But Jesus is not the same. Jesus remains faithful to his promises. He reveals that his mercy is for all people, and that he never gives up on them. So if you're feeling as if maybe God has given up on you, I encourage you to look at this text from Matthew 15, because again, he shows that he's there with you always. He never gives up. And that's whether if you feel like you're on the outside looking in, you're not. You are just as much a child of his than anybody else. And friends, I'd encourage you to share that message with others today and the rest of this week that God has put in your lives. Peace and blessings, friends. We'll see you on Sunday.